We're going to start with the Premier League this weekend. I know it's only Wednesday. It's never too early to preview a slate of fixtures that includes the likes of Liverpool, Everton, and Arsenal against Manchester City. Let's start at Anfield, Shaq, and Liverpool against Everton is a game you would expect the home side to win, but Everton have only lost one of the last three Merseyside derbies. Is it a bit of a banana skin for the Reds, this one?
Yeah, it is. I think, in all honesty, Mark, it always is between these two. And kind of given Everton's start to the season, Jack Grealish and the impact that he's had since he's arrived at good, they said Goodison there, at Everton, you just wonder. And while I guess the bigger discussion is around Liverpool, who are perfect so far in terms of points tally, I don't think Liverpool's performances have been that great. So when we're talking about a banana skin, as much as this Merseyside Derby always does seem to be for Liverpool, I think the timing as well suggests that we could be in for, I don't want to say a surprise, but it's Liverpool could be dropping points here.
They could be. However, their recent record over the whole against Everton is very good. It's a big week for them. They've got Atletico Madrid later today, and then it's Everton in the league. Now, they're perfect, Liverpool, as far as 4 games and 4 wins. What have you made of their form so far?
Like I was saying, yes, it's 4 wins and 4 games, but the performances have not been great. That being said, you don't play well and you win 4-4 to start the season. I think that's a good place to start. And now, kind of given the summer transfer window that Liverpool had, and the question marks around that many players coming in and their ability to settle into a team that are defending league champions, that was always a concern for Arne Slot. And maybe that hasn't clicked just yet. We haven't seen the Florian Wirtz that we know what we can be from Leverkusen. Mo Salah hasn't hit the heights that we know he has and is capable of from seasons gone by. But still, we're talking about a team that's won 4 out of 4. So while it will yet take some more time for everybody else to kind of fit in, figure out their roles, for Alexander Isak's inclusion into the starting 11, what that may look like for Ekitike and other roles in sitting that attacking front 3 or attacking front 4, whatever Arne Slot decides to go with, they're starting from a good foundation in that there's no reason to question anything about who Liverpool are right now. No, performances have not been great, but you get the results, and with that comes an ability to continue to adjust, to continue to settle in without there being any alarm within that dressing room.
It's more ominous for the rest of the league, given the fact that Liverpool maybe haven't quite hit top gear yet, and they're sitting there top of the table with 4 wins out of 4. What kind of opponents will they face this weekend? An Everton side that have won 2 and drawn 1 of the 4 games so far. They seem to have more of an attacking outlet about them, and defensively, they should always be pretty solid under David Moyes.
Yeah, and listen, we know David Moyes as a manager. You saw it at Everton. You certainly saw it at West Ham. Whether you saw it in this kind of detail or this kind of effort at Manchester United, we could debate. But you know that David Moyes is going to be set up defensively, organized defensively. And then, as I mentioned, with the additions of the likes of Jack Grealish going forward, they pose a significant threat. They are far more exciting, far more free-flowing than most David Moyes' teams. And there's a feel-good factor around Everton right now that I think plays into their favor. And again, as derbies go, as unpredictable as they may be by their very nature, this one is especially so. And again, given Liverpool's, despite the points tally, given Liverpool's subpar performances and the feel-good factor around Everton right now, I think we could be in for a surprise. I'm not putting a mortgage on it. I'm not putting a mortgage on any result in this game. It's just that unpredictable.
The early evening game in the United Kingdom is unbeaten Chelsea at Manchester United. You've spoken a lot on the show with everyone else on ESPN FC about Amorim, especially his comments after the weekend. Hey, I'm not going to change. If you want to change, then change a manager, because you're not going to get me to change anything. How big a game is this for him at home, but against a side that will come thinking they're favourites for 3 points?
Yeah, listen, I think Chelsea come to Old Trafford thinking that if it's anything less than 3, they head back disappointed. And of course that could change, a late equalizer or whatever makes it feel different for them. But as we sit right now, before a ball is kicked, I think Chelsea are expecting, if not, or hoping, if not expecting, to take 3 points. But you're right, this is about Amorim, this is about Manchester United, and this is about being at Old Trafford. And the thing with this one, while Manchester United have been far from great, they've been far from good for so much of this season so far. What we've seen from Manchester United with some consistency over the last 2 years, 3 years, whenever Manchester United's manager needs a result, they somehow get it. They somehow get just the result they need, just so we can kick this very can down the road for another 3 or 4 weeks. So it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest to see Manchester United have their best performance of the season, to win at home against Chelsea, to quieten the conversation around Amorim for another 2 or 3 weeks. It just would not. That's just who they've been. When they seem to be just about to hit rock bottom, they find the results. And I'm kind of leaning towards it happening again this weekend.
See, I can see that argument, and I can also see maybe a change this season, because they've found a way, Manchester United, and I think they've played better against better sides when the onus is not on them to go and create.
Yeah.
However, they lost at home to Arsenal. It wasn't a good game. Arsenal weren't great and still won by a goal to nil. And they were all over the place. The alarming thing for me last week at Manchester City in the Derby, when they lost by 3 goals to nil, I thought they contained them okay, and they had 1 or 2 chances on the counter in the first half. I just thought they lost their shape in the second half. There were a couple of chances with Man City in transition when Haaland got in behind, and the defending was all over the place. Can that be fixed in 7 days?
No, not given what we've seen. I'll be honest, I've been really disappointed in Manchester United. We gave Amorim a pass. I say a little bit loosely, because he did come in for a lot of criticism last season, but it wasn't his team. He only had the January transfer window. And even by his own suggestion, it was all about, let me have this summer transfer window. Let me get this team for a prolonged period and play my style of football. And it's been no better. You could quite easily make the argument, given the start and how poor it's been, that it's been a little bit worse than what we saw from Ten Hag at exactly this point last season. So, and while you can point to maybe some moments against Manchester City, as we said, I'm still not sure about Manchester City. And I know we'll get to them in a broader context a little bit later on, and especially with the Champions League coming up. Manchester City have beaten United and Wolves so far this season. They've lost to both Brighton and Spurs. So while we're tempted to say, and we see a better version of Manchester City, and we're tempted to say this is Manchester City getting back to their best, I think it's a little bit too early, and kind of given results, maybe a little premature in assuming that Manchester City will be the City of 2 seasons ago as opposed to last season.
I'm just looking at Chelsea's away results this season. I thought they were outstanding against your old boys, West Ham, albeit West Ham's performance
Who isn't? Listen, me and you
know.
could be good against West Ham, Mark.
Well, you could.
But don't get me started. Don't get me started. It's a long Wednesday.
Had it not been for that late equaliser by Brentford, Chelsea would be sitting second in the table right now. They're still unbeaten. They're still working on a few things. They've got a few new arrivals as well. But this axis in the middle of the park, Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, they really they're the conductors of that orchestra, aren't they? They're the protection when required, and they're chipping in with goals as well.
Absolutely, and I think both of them. I thought you started to see the best of Caicedo last season. I thought his first season was one, well, by his standards, one to forget. And I've had similar criticism around Enzo Fernandez, but all of a sudden he as well has, I think, has stepped up in the way that you expect. And as a result, Chelsea are looking arguably at their best. Maresca has to take a lot of credit for the job that he's done, and I know he came in for some criticism himself, kind of given Chelsea's position last Christmas and how the season kind of petered out relative to where they were last Christmas. I'm not here to say that Chelsea's season last season was a disappointment by any stretch, but now I want to see if Chelsea are really equipped to kind of continue to push the Liverpools and the Arsenals of the league. Right now, suggestions are they absolutely should be, and I'm looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward to see how Chelsea progresses during the course of this season.
Arsenal against Manchester City on Sunday. What about this for an Arsenal start to the season? Away to Man United. Yes, they've got Leeds at home, but then away to Liverpool and home to Forest and now Manchester City. If they can come out of that and get a win against City and have 4 wins out of 5, given the games that they'll already have played, that would be a decent start for Mikel Arteta, would it not?
Decent is an understatement. I think Arsenal have looked very good. I've been fairly critical of Gyökeres and kind of remain so if I'm a little bit honest. Saying that, I thought he took his goal against Forest wonderfully well. That's exactly the kind of striker's finish that Arsenal had been calling out for. Now, whether that type of finish, that type of performance, that type of player is who takes Arsenal above the likes of Liverpool, who are still my favorites to go on and win the league. I guess time will tell. And I'm a little bit on the fence with Gyökeres. At times, I think he's not really the type of striker that will do well in the Premier League, just simply not mobile enough. But then against lesser opponent, as we saw it for teams who want to sit a little bit deeper, he certainly has a good instinct and a good physical presence within the box. Arsenal have, I think there's a lot of pressure. Let me know. I think that there's a lot of questions to be asked of Arteta. I'm stopping just short of saying pressure, because I think Arsenal have added significantly well in this summer transfer window. They've got cover in every single position. They've got players who are playing well. I'm thinking Madueke, I'm thinking of Eze coming in and contributing as meaningful as they are. So this is as good an Arsenal team as we've seen. This is the best chance I think we will see of Arsenal in terms of eclipsing the cities and Liverpool at the top. What I want to see in this game is I cannot help but go back to a couple of seasons ago where Arsenal played City, and I think it was at the Etihad, where they quite clearly came for a draw. Didn't guess it, but you knew what they set out for. I want to see this Arsenal play like a team who believe a little bit more in themselves, who know that they can welcome the likes of Manchester City, whatever version of City that is, and boss the game, take the game to them, play their game, and pick up 3 points in doing all of that.
I'm just looking at some of the previous games, and that game that you mentioned, I think was March 2024, the 0-0 draw. But we really do have a Jekyll and Hyde for Manchester City, don't we? Because they didn't play well on their last visit to the Emirates, and they got thumped by 5-1. You look at their league form this season, after match day 1, everyone's like, City are back. And then we realised it was just Wolves they were playing. They lost at home to Spurs. They were beaten at Brighton, and then they looked really good against Manchester United. But hey, it's only Manchester United. So what are we going to get from City at Arsenal this weekend?
This is a big test for all those reasons that you just mentioned, Mark. You look at this season so far, kind of the high of that Wolves performance, and then the Brighton and the Spurs, and you just couldn't help but wonder what version of of Manchester City is this. I think it's also huge that Donnarumma back between the sticks for them, and what that brings just in terms of presence for Manchester City. So this for me, as early as it is in this season, is pivotal for City. We will get a real measure of who they are this season by this one game.